The gentle hum of the cargo ship's engines filled the small cockpit as James Walker stretched in his pilot's chair. His eyes were tired from staring at the endless sea of stars through the viewscreen. The ship's clock showed it was hour 14 of his 16-hour supply run to the mining colonies in the Outer Rim. Just another normal day moving cargo through space. 2 more hours, he muttered to himself, running a hand through his messy brown hair. 2 more hours, then I can sleep. The ship's eye, which James called Bob, suddenly lit up the control panel with a soft blue glow. "Captain, I'm detecting an unusual signal," Bob announced in its calm voice. "It appears to be a distress beacon, but the format is unlike anything in my database." James sat up straighter, his tiredness forgotten. In the 5 years he'd been flying cargo runs, he'd never encountered a real distress signal. "Show me," he said. Numbers and charts filled the screen in front of him. The signal was coming from somewhere ahead of them, just off their planned route. It was weak but steady, like a whisper in the darkness of space. "Analysis?" James asked, already plotting a course adjustment in his head. "The signal originates from a large object approximately 50,000 kilometers from our current position," Bob replied. "Preliminary scans suggest it's a ship, but—" The AI paused, something it rarely did. "The energy readings don't match any known spacecraft designs." James looked at his cargo manifest. They were carrying basic supplies, nothing urgent. The mining colonies could wait a few extra hours. How long would a detour take? Approximately 40 minutes to reach the signal source, Bob calculated. "However, Captain, I must advise caution. The signal's unknown format could indicate a trap. Pirates have been known to use fake distress beacons." James smiled slightly. Bob was always careful, always thinking about risks. It was why James had chosen this particular AI model for his ship. "But sometimes you had to take chances. Someone might need help," he said simply. "Plot the course." The cargo ship's engines hummed louder as they changed direction. As they got closer, the ship's sensors began picking up more details. The source of the signal was massive, at least 3 times the size of the largest human space station James had ever seen. "Visual range in 5 minutes, Bob announced. "Captain, I'm detecting automated defense systems, though they appear to be in a dormant state. We should maintain our distance until—" "There it is," James breathed, cutting off the eye's warning. Through the viewscreen, he saw it. The alien ship looked like nothing he'd ever seen before. It was beautiful in a strange way, with sweeping curves that seemed to flow like liquid metal. But it was also clearly ancient. Parts of its hull were scarred and darkened, telling stories of old battles. Dim lights pulsed along its surface in patterns that made James think of a sleeping giant's heartbeat. "It's incredible," James whispered. The ship hung in space like a piece of forgotten history, still broadcasting its call for help after who knew how many years. "The signal is stronger now," Bob reported. "I'm also detecting an entry point, what appears to be a docking bay. It's still operational." Another pause. "Captain, while the defense systems remain dormant, I calculate a 67% probability that boarding this vessel would be dangerous. We should call the authorities and—" "No," James said firmly. "By the time they got here, whoever needs help might be—" He let the sentence hang unfinished. "Prepare for docking procedures. Keep the engines ready for a quick exit if we need it." As their ship drew closer to the massive alien vessel, James felt a mix of excitement and fear in his stomach. His mother had always told him he was too curious for his own good. But something about this ship, about this moment, felt important. It felt like destiny. The cargo ship's docking clamps engaged with a solid thunk. The ancient ship's automated systems still worked well enough to form an airtight seal. James pulled on his emergency suit, not his best piece of equipment, but good enough for a quick rescue mission. "Bob, monitor everything. If anything changes, anything at all, let me know immediately." "Understood, Captain," the eye replied, its tone making it clear it still thought this was a bad idea. "Please be careful." James checked his suit's oxygen levels one last time and grabbed a basic toolkit. As the airlock cycled, he took a deep breath. "Here goes nothing," he muttered, and stepped into the unknown. The air inside the alien ship was stale but breathable. James kept his suit on anyway as he moved through the dimly lit corridors. His flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing walls that seemed to pulse with a faint blue glow. "Bob, are you getting this?" he whispered into his comm. "Affirmative, Captain," the eye replied. The ship's internal systems appear to be powered by an unknown energy source. Most remarkable is that despite its age, basic life support is still functioning. James walked carefully, his boots making soft sounds on the metallic floor. The corridors were wide, clearly built for beings about human size. Every few meters, he passed what looked like sleeping terminals, their screens dark and silent. A soft humming grew louder as he went deeper into the ship. It wasn't the normal sound of engines or machinery. It was almost like singing, but not quite. The sound made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. "Captain," Bob's voice crackled through the comm. "I'm detecting a concentration of energy ahead. It appears to be the source of both the distress signal and the humming." James followed the sound until he reached a large circular door. Unlike the other doors he'd passed, this one was sealed with pulsing lines of light running across its surface. As he approached, the lines changed color from blue to green. "That's interesting," he muttered. The door slid open with a soft hiss. The room beyond took his breath away. It was massive, shaped like a dome, with walls covered in flowing streams of light. But what caught his attention was the center of the room. There, suspended in a column of shimmering energy, was a person, or something very close to human. It was a woman, floating peacefully as if asleep. Her skin had a slight silvery sheen, and delicate patterns of light moved beneath its surface. Countless thin cables connected her body to the ceiling and floor of the chamber. She looked like she could have been human, except for the otherworldly grace of her features and the way light seemed to dance across her skin. "Bob," James said quietly, "are you seeing this?" "Yes, Captain." The being appears to be in some form of stasis. The cables seem to be interfacing directly with her nervous system. "I'm detecting complex data transfers." James stepped closer, his heart pounding. The woman's eyes were closed, but as he approached, the lights in the room pulsed brighter. Suddenly, a holographic display appeared in front of him, showing strange symbols that shifted and changed. "The ship's computer is attempting to communicate," Bob reported. "One moment. I'm running it through all known translation matrices." Before the AI could finish, the symbols transformed into English text. "Warning. Central Core System. Unauthorized. Access DTCTE. State your purpose." James swallowed hard. I'm here to help. I received a distress signal." The symbols swirled again. "ID Intelai. Princess Anna. Last so vir I Jin of VDE STLR Empire. Status. Contained. Purpose. Preservation of critical systems and no LEG." She's being held prisoner by the ship?" James asked, horror growing in his chest. "In CORDCT. Princess Anna maintains critical systems. Without integration, ship systems fail. Without ship systems, preservation fails. Without preservation, last node LEG of STLR Empire is lost." As if responding to these words, the woman, Princess Anna, stirred slightly in her suspension. The cables shifted with her movement, and James saw her face tighten in what looked like pain. "How long?" he asked. "How long has she been here?" The answer made his blood run cold. "Time in Sion and Tananient, 3,427 standard years." James stepped closer to the energy field. his hand reaching out without thinking. "This isn't preservation," he said firmly. "This is torture." The ship's response was immediate. Red warning lights flashed, and a love alarm began to sound. Threat DETCTED. Security protoxios NGGT. Step away from TKA Central Core. But before James could move, something extraordinary happened. The princess's eyes opened. They were bright silver, and they fixed directly on him. In that moment, he felt a presence touch his mind, gentle but desperate. Asterisk, help me, asterisk. A voice whispered in his thoughts. Asterisk, please. Help me, asterisk. The alarms continued to blare as James stood his ground, his eyes locked with Princess Anna's silver ones. The mental connection between them felt like a thin thread of hope in the chaos. "Bob," James spoke into his comm, "I need options." "Captain, the ship's defense systems are activating." The AI responded quickly. "We have perhaps 5 minutes before they reach full power. I strongly suggest immediate retreat." But James couldn't move. The desperation in Anna's mental touch was too real, too raw. Asterisk 3,000 years asterisk, he thought. Asterisk 3,000 years alone, trapped, keeping this ship alive asterisk. The holographic display flashed angry red symbols. Final warning. Levy or face termination. Asterisk, they will not kill you asterisk. Anna's voice whispered in his mind. Asterisk, they cannot. The ship needs me to survive, and I refuse to maintain systems if they harm you asterisk. James felt a surge of admiration for her courage. Even after millennia of imprisonment, she was willing to fight back. "How can I help you?" he asked aloud. The princess's response came in a flood of images rather than words. James saw complex biomechanical systems, neural interfaces more advanced than anything humans had created, and the delicate balance that kept Anna's consciousness linked to the ship's core. "It's not as simple as just pulling the plugs, is it?" he muttered. "Captain," Bob interrupted, "I'm detecting automated drones activating throughout the ship. They appear to be defensive units." James made his decision. "Bob, lock onto my position. Start downloading everything you can about this ship's systems. I'm staying." "Captain, that is extremely unwise. The probability off." "Not leaving her here, Bob," James cut in firmly. "Not like this. No one deserves this kind of prison." Through their mental link, Anna sent him feelings of gratitude mixed with worry. Asterisk, you risk much for a stranger asterisk. "Yeah. Well," James smiled slightly. "Humans are funny that way. Now show me what I need to know to get you out of here." The next few minutes were intense. As security drones began to fill the corridors outside, Anna rapidly shared information about the ship's systems. James learned that her consciousness was deeply integrated with the ship's core processors. Simply disconnecting her would be fatal. Her mind had been linked to the machines for so long that it needed to be carefully separated. "It could take months," James said aloud, realizing the scale of the task. Asterisk, yes asterisk, Anna confirmed. Asterisk, and the ship will fight you. The original builders programmed it to preserve their knowledge at any cost. Even my own wishes are secondary to that mission asterisk. "Captain," Bob's voice was urgent now. "Drones are approaching your position. You have approximately 30 seconds to reach the escape route I've plotted." James looked at Anna's suspended form, at the cables that held her like chains, at her eyes that held both wisdom and pain. He thought about his comfortable life running cargo, about the danger he'd be in, about all the reasons to walk away. Then he thought about leaving her here for another 3,000 years. "Bob," he said firmly, "plot a course to the nearest space station. We're going to need supplies. And download everything you can about bioneural interfaces." Asterisk, you would stay. Asterisk, Anna's mental voice was filled with disbelief. Asterisk, even knowing the danger asterisk. "Look," James said, pulling out his tools and starting to set up a small workspace near her containment field. "I'm not leaving you here." Maybe that's stupid, maybe it's crazy, but it's how it is. Now, let's figure out how to get you out of this thing. The ship's alarms suddenly changed tone, becoming deeper, more threatening. Through their mental link, James felt Anna's fear spike. Asterisk. The preservation protocols asterisk, she warned. Asterisk they're activating. The ship will now see you as a direct threat to its core mission asterisk. James checked his toolkit and straightened his shoulders. Well, he said with a grim smile, nobody ever said doing the right thing would be easy. Above them, the ship's lights pulsed red, and the sound of approaching drones grew louder. 2 weeks had passed since James made his choice to stay. He'd turned his small cargo ship into a makeshift home, docking it permanently with the ancient vessel. Every day, he spent hours learning about the ship's systems through his mental connection with Anna, while Bob worked to decode the vast database of alien technology. Today, James sat cross-legged on the floor of the core room, his eyes closed as Anna shared another memory with him. In his mind, he saw a shining city of crystal and light, where Anna's people had once lived. Flying vehicles moved between towering spires, and children with silvery skin played in gardens that floated in the air. It was beautiful, but there was something cold about it too. Everything was ordered, planned, perfect. Your people built amazing things, James said, opening his eyes. But I notice nobody's smiling in your memories. Anna's mental touch carried a hint of sadness. Asterisk, we valued order above all else. Every person had their place, their duty. I was born to be a keeper of knowledge, just as my mother was before me asterisk. James stood up and walked closer to her suspension field. The drones had stopped attacking after the first week, once the ship's systems accepted that he wasn't trying to physically remove Anna. Now they just watched, always present but inactive. That sounds lonely, he said softly. Asterisk, I never thought of it that way before meeting you asterisk. Anna replied. Asterisk, but seeing your memories, feeling your emotions. Humans are so different. You embrace chaos, follow your hearts, make choices that defy logic asterisk. James smiled. Yeah, we're pretty messy that way. He pulled out his tablet, checking the latest scan results. Bob, any progress on mapping the neural interface patterns? Affirmative, Captain, the AI responded. I've identified 27 distinct connection types. However, the complexity of the biological integration is remarkable. Princess Anna's consciousness has adapted to use the ship's systems as an extension of her own mind. James frowned. He'd noticed that too. When Anna showed him memories, some seemed to come from the ship itself. Maintenance records, sensor data, even star charts, all processed through her mind as naturally as breathing. Asterisk, you're worried asterisk. Anna observed through their link. Asterisk, you fear that even if you free me, I won't be whole asterisk. The thought had crossed my mind, James admitted. 3,000 years is a long time to be connected to something. What if? He hesitated, then continued. What if you've forgotten how to exist without it? The lights in the room dimmed slightly, reflecting Anna's emotional response. Asteriski have forgotten many things. The taste of food, the feeling of wind, the warmth of an embrace. But through your memories, I remember what it means to be free, to make choices, to feel asterisk. James felt a surge of emotions through their connection. Longing, fear, hope, and something else he wasn't quite ready to name. The past 2 weeks of constant mental contact had created a bond between them that went beyond simple communication. Captain, Bob interrupted, I've detected an anomaly in the ship's power grid. The preservation protocols appear to be adapting. James tensed. Adapting how? Asterisk. The ship senses our growing connection asterisk. Anna explained, her mental voice tinged with worry. Asterisk, it was programmed to preserve not just knowledge, but our way of life. Our beliefs. Through you, I'm learning to think differently, to want different things. The ship sees this as corruption of its core mission asterisk. As if confirming her words, the room's lights pulsed red, and new warnings appeared on the holographic displays. "So what happens now?" James asked, though he had a feeling he knew the answer. Asterisk now asterisk. Anna replied grimly. Asterisk, the ship will try to protect me from what it sees as the corruption of human influence. It will try to sever our connection. Permanently asterisk. James paced the core room, his mind racing. They had maybe hours before the ship's systems would try to cut off his connection with Anna. The drones had reactivated, hovering at the edges of the room like metal wasps waiting to strike. "Bob," he called out, "give me everything we've learned about the neural interfaces. Everything." The AI projected a complex diagram into the air. The ship uses Anna's consciousness as a living processor. Her mind maintains crucial systems through these primary connections. Blue lines lit up on the display. However, the secondary connections, red lines appeared, seemed to enforce the preservation protocols. Asterisk, yes, asterisk. Anna's mental voice confirmed. Asterisk, the secondary systems ensure I remain proper, unchanged. They suppress emotions, restrict thoughts that might challenge our old ways. Asterisk. James stopped pacing. "That's it," he said quietly. Then louder, "That's it. Bob, the ship's defense systems don't recognize human technology as a threat, right? They're programmed to guard against advanced tech that could corrupt their systems." "Correct, Captain. The ship's sensors largely ignore our equipment due to its relative primitiveness." A plan was forming in James's mind. Through their mental link, Anna caught glimpses of it, and her excitement grew. Asterisk, you want to use human technology to transfer my consciousness? Asterisk, she asked. Asterisk, but your neural interfaces are so basic compared to what my people built. Asterisk. Exactly, James grinned. They're basic, simple. The ship's systems are looking for complex technological threats. But what if we did this the human way? What if we built something so straightforward that the ship won't even see it as dangerous? He grabbed his tablet and started sketching. Bob, remember that medical neural transmitter we picked up at the last station? The one they use for coma patients? Affirmative. A simple device for monitoring basic brain activity. However, Captain, its capabilities are far too limited for a direct transfer. Yes, James interrupted. But what if we're not trying to transfer everything at once? Anna, you said the secondary systems suppress parts of your consciousness, right? The parts the ship doesn't want. Asterisk, yes, asterisk, she replied. Asterisk, my emotions, my individual thoughts, my feelings. For asterisk. She stopped suddenly, but James felt the warmth in their mental connection. So we build a basic receiver, he continued, his voice eager. Something that can accept and store the parts of you that the ship is trying to suppress. We do it bit by bit, slowly enough that the ship's systems don't notice. Like water dripping through cracks in a wall. Bob's display shifted, running calculations. The medical transmitter could be modified for this purpose. But Captain, even if this works, it would only save a portion of Princess Anna's consciousness. Asterisk, but it would be the most important part. Asterisk. Anna's mental voice was strong, determined. Asterisk me, memories of ships and stars and ancient knowledge. Those can stay with this vessel. But myself, my heart, the part of me that has grown and changed these past weeks, that's what matters most. Asterisk. James nodded. We get that part of you out first. Once you're partially free of the ship's control, we can work on the rest. The ship can't stop what it doesn't detect. The drones moved closer, their sensors glowing brightly. The ship was getting suspicious of their prolonged communication. We'll need to act fast, James said, already pulling tools from his kit. Bob, start modifying that transmitter. Anna, you'll need to guide us through the process of connecting it to your neural pathways. Asterisk. The ship will fight us. Asterisk, she warned. Asterisk, once it realizes what's happening, it will do anything to stop us. Asterisk. James reached up to touch the energy field that held her, his fingers tingling where they met the barrier. Let it try, he said softly. "We've come too far to give up now." The drone's weapons powered up with a high-pitched whine. Time was running out. Red emergency lights flashed throughout the core room as James connected the last wire to his modified neural transmitter. The drones had formed a tight circle around him and Anna, their weapons humming with deadly energy. "Bob, status," James called out, his hand steady despite the pressure. "Neural transmitter at 92% power," the AI reported. "But Captain, the ship's systems are becoming more aggressive. Internal temperature rising. Defense protocols escalating." James felt Anna's fear through their mental link. The ship was trying to burn them out. James asterisk. Her mental voice was strained. The preservation protocols. They're activating the final defense system asterisk. "What does that mean?" he asked, though part of him didn't want to know. If the ship cannot preserve its core programming, it will destroy itself and everything inside it asterisk. Anna's mental voice trembled. We have minutes. At most asterisk. The floor beneath them shuddered. Around them, ancient metal groaned as the ship began tearing itself apart. "Bob, start the transfer," James shouted, placing the neural transmitter against the energy field holding Anna. The device hummed to life, its simple human technology creating a basic bridge between Anna's consciousness and its storage system. "It hurts asterisk." Anna's voice gasped in his mind. "The ship. It's fighting so hard to keep me asterisk." James pressed his hand against the energy field next to the transmitter. "Focus on me," he said firmly. "Focus on what you want to keep. Your feelings, your hopes, your dreams. Everything that makes you you." Through their connection, he felt her concentrate. Memories flowed through the transmitter, not of star maps or ancient technology, but of emotions. The joy she had felt seeing his memories of Earth's oceans, the warmth of their shared laughter, the freedom of making her own choices. "Warning," Bob announced. "Ship's core reaching critical levels. Structural integrity failing in multiple sections." The drone suddenly attacked, firing energy beams at James. He ducked, but kept the transmitter steady. "How much longer?" "Transfer at 60%, Bob reported. "But Captain, at current rate of ship deterioration, we have less than 2 minutes before total system collapse." A drone's blast caught James in the shoulder, making him stumble. The pain shot through his body, but he held his position. Through their mental link, he felt Anna's panic. "Leave me she pleaded. "You'll die if you stay "Not without you," James growled through clenched teeth. He could feel the heat rising in the room as the ship's systems overloaded. Panels were exploding around them, showering sparks everywhere. "Transfer at 85%, Bob announced. 90 seconds to system collapse." The energy field holding Anna began to flicker. The ship was losing power, its grip on her weakening. James saw his chance. "Anna, now, push with everything you have." He felt her gather her strength, focusing all her will through their connection. The neural transmitter glowed brightly as her consciousness flowed through it, breaking free of the ancient protocols that had held her for so long. The ship gave one final, mighty shudder. Warning sirens screamed as systems failed catastrophically. "Transfer complete," Bob shouted. "Captain, we need to leave now." The energy field collapsed. Anna's physical form, held suspended for thousands of years, began to fall. James caught her in his arms, ignoring the pain from his injured shoulder. She was lighter than he expected, her silvery skin cool to the touch. "Bob, get us out of here." He ran through the collapsing corridors, carrying Anna's unconscious form. Following the escape route Bob projected on his heads-up display. Behind them, the ancient ship died, taking its oppressive protocols with it. They reached James's cargo ship just as the docking clamps began to fail. Bob had the engines fired up and ready. As they pulled away, the massive alien vessel broke apart in a spectacular series of explosions. James watched through the view screen, Anna safe in his arms, her consciousness secured in the simple human device that had freed her. "Bob," he said softly, looking down at Anna's peaceful face, "set course for the nearest medical station. Our friend here has some waking up to do." As the cargo ship jumped to safety, a small smile appeared on Anna's lips, her first real smile in 3,000 years. 3 days had passed since their escape. James sat beside Anna's medical bed in the station's advanced care unit, watching the gentle rise and fall of her chest. The doctors had been amazed by her biology, but assured him she was stable. Her body, preserved for millennia, was slowly awakening. The neural transmitter sat on a table nearby, holding the most precious parts of her consciousness, her emotions, her individual thoughts, her very self. Bob had connected it to the medical systems, helping her mind gradually reconnect with her body. "Her readings are getting stronger," Bob reported through James's comm. "Brain activity increasing. She's beginning to dream." James leaned forward, taking her hand gently. Her silvery skin felt warmer now, more alive. The patterns of light that had once flowed beneath her skin were fainter but still beautiful, like starlight seen through clouds. "You know," he said softly, "my cargo clients probably think I've disappeared. 3 weeks without a delivery. That's got to be some kind of record." "Actually, Captain," Bob chimed in, "I took the liberty of sending messages to your regular clients. I told them you were taking a leave of absence for personal reasons. Most were quite understanding." James smiled. The AI had grown quite good at handling human interactions. "Thanks, Bob. I guess we'll need to figure out a new business plan after this. Can't imagine going back to just hauling cargo after everything that's." He stopped as Anna's hand tightened slightly around his. Her eyelids fluttered and slowly opened. Her silver eyes focused on him. And this time there was no mental voice in his head, just her real physical presence. "James," she whispered, her voice rough from millennia of disuse. You did it." He helped her sit up carefully, supporting her back. "We did it," he corrected. "How do you feel?" She looked at her hands in wonder, turning them over. Strange. Heavy. But a smile spread across her face. "But free. I feel free." She touched her chest, then her face, as if rediscovering her own body. "The ship's knowledge, the ancient data, it's gone. But I don't miss it. All the important parts are still here." She tapped her temple gently. The doctors had helped transfer her saved consciousness from the neural transmitter back into her brain, integrating her preserved emotions and memories with her physical form. "Your body will take time to adjust," James said. "The doctors say you'll need physical therapy too." Anna suddenly leaned forward and hugged him. James froze in surprise, then carefully wrapped his arms around her. She was shaking slightly. "I'd forgotten," she whispered against his shoulder. "In all those years, I'd forgotten what this felt like. Just being held, being real." James held her gently, feeling her warmth, her realness. After weeks of mental connection, this simple physical contact felt both strange and perfectly right. When she finally pulled back, there were tears in her silver eyes. "What happens now?" she asked. James gestured to the viewport, where countless stars shone in the darkness of space. "That's up to you. You're free to go anywhere, do anything. Your people's empire is long gone, but the galaxy's a big place. You cold." "I want to stay with you," she interrupted, then looked down shyly. If that's all right. I've seen the universe through ship sensors for thousands of years. I'd like to see it through my own eyes now, with someone who taught me how to be free." James took her hand again, smiling. "Well, I do have a cargo ship. Could use a co-pilot who knows her way around the stars. Though I should warn you, human technology's going to feel pretty primitive compared to what you're used to." Anna laughed. Her first real physical laugh. The sound was like music. "Primitive technology freed me when advanced systems kept me chained. I think I'll manage." Her expression grew softer. "Besides, It's not the ship that matters. It's the people flying it. Outside the viewport, a transport ship passed by, its engines glowing as it headed out into the vast unknown. Anna watched it with shining eyes, feeling the gentle weight of her body, the freedom of having choices, the warmth of James's hand in hers. So James said, following her gaze to the stars, "Where should we go first?" Anna's smile was brighter than any star. "Everywhere," she said simply. "Let's go everywhere." In the station's computer, Bob quietly updated the cargo ship's registry. Not just a captain now, but a crew of 2, ready to explore a universe full of possibilities. The AI calculated that the probability of future adventures was approximately 100%. For once, Bob's calculations were absolutely correct.